Hey, what's going on, good family? Welcome to today's power-packed masterclass. So excited for this one, guys. I've been itching to have this conversation, this masterclass. It's been in the build-out for a few weeks now, and it's called Mega Scale. How to build an online empire in real estate and entrepreneurship, for that matter, as it relates to social media. So we're really excited for this call. I am your host, Joseph Trujillo, and really excited to talk to you guys about what's going to be transformative in your business, in your life, in your career. So you guys get ready to take some diligent notes here. You're not here just to learn like typical social media tips. That's not this class. This class is about dominating your online presence, your growth, your influence, everything that you need in a business to be able to attract clients around the clock and have it work on your behalf while you're also focusing on other elements of your business. Today's guest is this gentleman right here is literally a real estate content strategist. He is a YouTube expert. He's the founder of an academy, and he's here to give the blueprint. He's built a massive global network of real estate agents who he has helped side by side create an entirely new framework and landscape for their business. A couple other things about our guest. This guy's working behind the scenes, and my expectation and my hope is that he'll share some of these with us, but he's working on some crazy AI projects, right? Some really great stuff, things that nobody's going to be able to compete with. And again, he's considered one of the best in the business, definitely in the industry. He's part and has grown one of the fastest groups at eXp Realty ever. Proven systems, everything that you need in order to retain and benefit long-term in your business. So without further ado, I would love to invite my brother, Mike Sherrard, to the call. Mike, come on deck, brother.
Hey, man. How's it going? Super excited to be here.
Really excited, bro. Really excited. All the way from Canada, right?
Yeah, nice and cold.
Well, my brother, our community out here, certainly everybody's familiar, what you've done and how you've changed the industry. And for us to have you here and those that'll be watching live or in the future on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, you guys are in for a treat. So Mike, once again, my brother, I'm going to give you the stage and I'm excited to learn. I got a few pens ready in case I run out of ink. Fired up. Let's go, baby.
I love it. Well, guys, super excited to be here. I'm actually going to be sharing stuff with you guys that I've never shared with anybody before. It's a brand new presentation based on where things are going, right? And so there's a couple key takeaways that I want to make sure we get by the end of this presentation. The first is going to be focusing on YouTube, right? Why YouTube, based on data, is the most powerful platform for agents to be on right now, whether your focus is production or growing a revenue share organization, scaling a team, a brokerage, whatever it might be. The second thing is a massive transition that's happening right now. And that transition is from SEO to GEO, right? Which is going to go from search engine optimization, which is what most agents are familiar with, which is putting out blogs, things are going to rank on Google. That is SEO. But right now we're in this radical transition that's happening rapidly to GEO, which is genetic optimization, right? And what that is how can you be found as a realtor when people look on ChatGPT, Gemini, or any of these platforms? Because now what happens, and I'm going to show you guys what you need to do today to get started with this, is if you search for certain things related to our brokerage, you search for certain things related to how to use YouTube as a real estate agent, ChatGPT will recommend not only my name, but my videos. And that can happen with you in your market as the public starts to search for the top agent in your market. But there's things that you have to do now. And then the third thing that I'm going to show you how to do is to leverage a platform that most people are completely unaware of right now, which is Manus. A lot of people talk about ChatGPT, which is incredible. I'm going to go there. But I'm really going to show you something insane, which is how to, I keep hearing these stories of people paying like $25,000 for a one-on-one YouTube coach. I'm going to show you how for free you can get better results than if you paid a YouTube coach $25,000, right? So if you're with me, if you're cool with that, this is going to be an extremely valuable next 30 minutes. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get this party started because I want to provide as much value as humanly possible. So let's go ahead and dive in. So a couple things that I just want to walk through, right? Which is first, eliminating excuses. This is one of the really critical things because anytime I do these kind of presentations, people will always find a way to sit back and say, you know what, I know it's worked for everybody, but like, is it going to work for me? Right? You're going to sit there and you're going to make excuses as to why it can't work for you, why it's not going to work for you, and why you happen to be the unicorn that nothing works for, but it works for everybody else, right? So let's get rid of excuses before we dive into the tactical, and I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to blow your mind, okay? So, quick story, right? This is Shane. So Shane actually joined me at EXP about 3 years ago. And the day that he came to me, he said, Mike, listen, I'm going to shoot you straight. Last night, I was diagnosed with cancer. I was told that I might have 3 years to live. My entire business is built off prospecting. But if I die, that means that my family has nothing to be able to continue to bring income with. So I need your help to launch a YouTube channel and to start to attract leads. So if I pass away, my wife can get her license and we're going to be able to provide for our kids. Heaven forbid I pass away. Shane is middle-aged, massively introverted, terrified of the camera, no experience on social media, and very not techie. So what happened? Last year, he did $440,000 from YouTube while going through chemotherapy, and he's now cancer-free. So when it comes to this, he had every excuse under the book, but he had an unwavering passion and purpose and why. So I want to share with you that, again, maybe you're introverted and scared to get in front of the camera. That's okay. So was Barry, right? That you could see here with under 200 subscribers, not big thousands of subscribers, not big vanity metrics. He did $100,000 in commission in 1 month as an introvert who reads off a script. This guy has less than 200 subscribers, right? Maybe you want seller leads. Most people think that you need, YouTube only brings buyer leads. Well, this is an agent who does market reports and he does over 50 seller leads every single month. Maybe you're a new agent, right? This is a new agent, new market, never did video. He did over $1 million in his first year. Maybe you even speak another language. This is an agent that put out a Spanish channel and did $300,000 in his first year working part-time. And so where I'm going with this is I want to help you understand that anybody can do this, but I want to help you understand the shift that's going to be happening, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up a couple presentations for you, and this is going to be really critical. So let me come back here and present something really interesting for you, right? And that's going to be this over here as I start to walk you through this, right? So these are some of my private prompts. And many people are used to leveraging ChatGPT, but very few people know how to get an exact strategy specific to their market, their style, and the opportunity based on data that works right now, right? A lot of people are doing coaching based on theory, based on what has worked for them, but might work for them doesn't work in your market, or it doesn't work right now based on the interest rates and economy. This is going to guarantee the strategy is hyper specific to you. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Scrape and deeply analyze the highest performing YouTube videos in real estate in whatever market you're in. I want the top performing YouTube videos, keyword research, lead generation potential, content gaps, which present you with opportunities to outrank your competition, niche positioning opportunities, channel success patterns, and what works for top performing channels, and trends that I can capitalize on. What we're going to do is we're going to put this into Manus. And so what Manus does is deep dive research, and you're going to be blown away when you see what the output is of this, because it's going to give you documentation that is going to give you every single pinpoint data and detail of exactly how to create the most successful channel in your market right now. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. We'll do this maybe for Austin, right? Austin, Texas. And what Manus is going to do is it's first going to acknowledge, understood, I will prepare a detailed YouTube strategy in Austin, Texas for you. And it starts to think. But the really cool part about Manus is if we open up this, as it starts to think, it's going to show you all of the different websites that it begins to scrape, right? So we've got a 7-step process here. Researching top performing real estate YouTube content, analyzing keyword search trends, competitive landscape, identifying content gaps, channel success patterns, emerging trends, and a comprehensive strategy report. And you can see here, live in real time, it is scraping all of these other YouTube channels, all of the competition, anything else anybody could be doing, and it's going to position you to outperform every single one of them, right? But this takes about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do, because we don't have 10 minutes to waste, is we're going to get back to our presentation, okay? And I'm going to show you some other really cool stuff here. And then once we come back to that, you're going to be blown away when you see what this does. So let's talk about this, right? The market is shifting from SEO to AEO to GEO, right? So what is SEO, right? It's search engine optimization. That is what you are probably familiar with as a real estate agent. Everybody talks about SEO, right? It's all about blogs and Google Business Profile and keywords and backlinks and all this techie stuff, right? And rankings determine success. But then we went to an audible engine optimization, right? Or audio engine optimization, which is voice, right? This was optimizing things for Alexa, for Siri, for using dictation on your phone if you want to speak instead of type or text. But now we're in the genetic engine optimization, which is AI answering things, which reshapes how we need to be able to create content. And if you engineer your business right now for geo, over the next 2 years, you are going to become the dominant agent. And let me show you or talk to you about a very simple way to understand this. If you were doing like a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom that's 17 or 2,700 square feet, sometimes people would write 5 BD bedroom, right? And 2,700 SQFT square feet. But if you are, for example, telling ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity or Google for that matter, any search platform, what you're looking for, and you say verbally or written, I want a 5-bed, 4-bath, 2,700 square feet, you don't want it to reply with 4 or 5 BD 2,700 SKU fit, right? You want it to say the whole word. And what's happening is you need to now change how you're writing things and how you're saying things to be able to be picked up by SEO in the form of genetic. So this is a massive shift that's happening right now that we need to start to put out very searchable content for, because I don't know if you guys realize, this is just another little nugget for you. As of July 10th, which is just around the corner, Instagram posts are now going to start showing up on Google. So now you have YouTube or Google as the #1 search platform. YouTube is the #2 search platform. And then you've got TikTok and Instagram that are now going to both be able to be picked up by Google. What is the commonality across all of those platforms? Video. Video is going to be king. And if you want to be picked up by AEO era and the GEO era, you have to be on video. This is what it's recommending to people time and time again. Now, written is going to be important, but that's why communication is the #1 skill that any real estate agent needs to thrive. Verbal, your ability to speak; nonverbal, your body language; and written communication. Because as I'm going to show you with artificial intelligence, the only way to get the output that you're looking for is proper written communication. And that's where most agents struggle with artificial intelligence, is either A, they become dependent on somebody giving them a prompt, which usually is pretty lackluster, or B, they write very generic prompts, they get a very generic output, and they say it doesn't work for me, right? That's not the case at all, right? So when we look at this, our goal is to be able to focus on generative engine optimization, which is feed AI systems like ChatGPT and Google AI overviews. So we'll Google AI overview, and you'll see this now if you do a search. If you do a search on Google, at the very top above the ads, it's going to show you an AI solution or response that's pulled from an article. That could be your article if you optimize for it, right? So let's look at why this matters for realtors right now. 53%, or over half searches done right now in 2025, are zero-click searches. So you have all these agents spending an arm and a leg in order to optimize blogs and show up on Google, but 53% of searches now are zero-click, meaning they don't even click on a website. They search on ChatGPT or any other LLM, or they look at the summary, the AI summary that's provided at the top by Google, and that's their answer. They're not even clicking on blogs anymore. So you're spending all this time and money optimizing for something that nobody is even looking at. You also have AI overviews and local impact, right? Near me searches have heavily impacted these changes. So why is it critical, right? Well, when we look at doing the best job for our clients, over videos for listings get on average about 400% more inquiries, 4 times more inquiries. So just at the basis alone of over delivering for your clients and doing what's best for your clients, if you know that video, for example, provides potentially 4 times more inquiries on that listing, you're doing a disservice to your clients by not leveraging video, right? But let's get a little bit more detailed. Right now is the time to get on, because there's a massive shift that's happening. Most people don't realize that only 4% of licensed agents are actively posting on YouTube. All right, so if you're in a big market and you're competing against 20,000 agents or 50 or 60,000 agents, why compete against all of them doing the exact same thing as everybody else? And why not just compete against 4% of them? And chances are the 4% aren't going to do what I'm about to show you with artificial intelligence, meaning you can outperform them like that. It's so easy to outperform anybody right now on YouTube if you know how to leverage AI properly, right? So let's talk about how this is going to help you. Now we can create content faster than ever if you have the right strategies. So before, you used to have to pay for all these platforms to know the keywords, the titles, the tags, all the components that went into helping YouTube videos perform and rank. I'm going to show you how to do it immediately for free. Real-time feedback. One of the reasons why people have been spending $15,000, $25,000, I keep hearing, for a one-on-one YouTube coach is because they want the right direction and they want feedback specific to their content of how to improve and generate more leads. Why would you spend that? Because you can do it for free, right? So now we're able to upload our analytics into ChatGPT and say, hey, give me advice on how to improve my next videos and what could be done differently. And I'm going to show that to you. But this is where things start to get very interesting. So what I want to do is I'm going to come back to Manus right now. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper and start to show you guys what is going on here. So it's almost done. So we'll keep going on this path. And I'm going to show you guys some pretty cool stuff here. YouTube strategy. So as we can see, Manus is still doing his research because we got a lot that we're going to be unpacking here. But I want to show you some really cool stuff, right? And again, I haven't showed this to anybody else yet, but I'm going to show you how you can get immediate feedback on your own content in order to improve, right? Most people are waiting for somebody to give them those responses, or they're putting out content, they're not getting the right views, they're not getting it leads, and they get frustrated and overwhelmed, and they don't know where to go from here, right? But now, based on artificial intelligence, we can get immediate responses right now. So let's go ahead and look at analytics. If we come down here, let's look at this into ChatGPT as Manus is finishing up. Act as a YouTube growth strategist who specializes in helping real estate agents grow their YouTube channels, increase watch time, and most importantly, generate more leads. I've uploaded the CSV file containing my YouTube analytics. I want specific feedback on how to improve. My audience is real estate agents looking to scale their business with AI and social media. And all that we need to do here, and this again will save you thousands of dollars if you do this properly, is we're going to come over to our YouTube channel. We're going to go to the analytics. We're going to click see more over the last 28 days, and we're going to download our data. As we can see here, what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop this data into here. So now we have our month's worth of data, and we want to know, hey, based on the month's worth of content that I just put out, how the heck do I get more leads, right? How do I improve my content and get more views? You ask it. So what it's going to do is it's going to analyze the data, as we can see here, and in a second, it's going to provide us with complete details of exactly what to do in order to improve our content. You can see it takes some time to analyze because I put out so much content. But in a second here, it's going to give us absolutely everything. And then I'm going to show you how to do it on a per video basis as well, which is really powerful. So as we can see here, we've got our top 5 videos by watch time. We also have the top 5 videos by click-through rate. We have the top 5 videos by subscribers per view. And we have the bottom 5, what to avoid, the bottom 5, what to avoid, and here's a summary. Okay, cool. Here's what's working best, right? We have specific to our channel exactly what's working. Here's what's not working best. Here's what we need to do with our titles and thumbnails to improve the performance. Here's what we need to do to increase our watch time so that we get higher retention and thus YouTube promotes our videos. And even here's strategic recommendations for next month in order to make sure that every single month we improve our content. Nobody's talking about this, right? Because usually they're trying to convince you to buy some expensive program and justify why you need their coaching, but you don't if you just know what to do for free, right? So here's going to be what you need. Double down on outcome-based tutorials, improve CTR with these exact strategies. Longer videos are performing, right? Batch and integrate stronger call to actions in your videos. Here's examples of exactly what we should do. But what if we want specific feedback on like an exact video? Because what this doesn't show you is retention curves. Let's go to this video here. We'll go to the analytics. And we'll go down to this next prompt per video. And so we're going to put this in. And we want to know exactly what to do and how to perform better based on this video right here. Well, we're just going to take a beautiful screenshot of this, which is the performance. And we're going to take a beautiful screenshot of our retention curve. And we're going to ask it. And now it's going to analyze the images, and based on this exact video, here's what the retention curve reveals. Here's why viewers might be dropping off in very specific points of the videos. Here's how to improve. And here is going to be some strategic recommendations of exactly what to do in order to get more engagement on our content, which is absolutely insane. And the truth is this is better than what any coach could provide you, because this is hyper specific based on data specific to your exact videos, not based on assumptions, right? So Manus is just finishing. But when we start looking at this, this is how we can get incredible results with our content and not have to wait for feedback. The immediacy of artificial intelligence is what's providing us with this massive unfair advantage right now for people that are going to capitalize on it. And we often say that agents, that AI is not going to replace agents, but agents that use AI will replace those who don't. But the problem is most people are using it improperly, if at all, or they're using very generic prompts because they downloaded somebody's list that said they could give you 250 prompts for free. And all that they did was go into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you provide me with 250 prompts that realtors should use? And the prompts are absolutely terrible. But because it's so early in the curve, you think that it's valuable, right? And that's where I want to make sure that you're educated on how to use this stuff, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. If we look at all of the other things that we have here, you can even use artificial intelligence to be able to identify sellers that are ready to list right now, right? You're able to identify buyers that are best fit for their listings. You're able to identify areas that you should farm, market data, everything, right? This is the strategic aspect of this. So what I'm going to do is show you here is finishing the file for Manus, what we're going to do in order to build out a custom YouTube strategy specific for your market. So we'll come back here and we're going to go into this, right? So what we want is once we get data, which is exactly what's going to work for you, we want to unpack this right here. So we'll go ahead and open up a chat and we'll put this in, right? So act as a YouTube strategist using YouTube trend from the Manus data for Austin, Texas. We want to develop a complete YouTube strategy, retargeting whoever, right? Maybe your focus is relocators, first-time home buyers, whatever that looks like for you. I want position strategy, a content roadmap, optimized videos, hook suggestions, call to actions, upload frequency, thumbnail visuals, and I want this strategy to be specific, data-backed, and aligned with long-term local dominance on YouTube. That's exactly what we want, right? Is to become the dominant agent on YouTube. So now you can see here, Manus has finished its research after all of that, right? And look how crazy this is. So we're going to come up here and I've completed the comprehensive research on Austin real estate YouTube strategy. After deep dive, the highest performing channels, audience personas, everything. So here's what the strategy includes. Top performing videos, the 15 exact videos that are ranked by lead potential, keyword search analysis, the highest opportunity for keywords, as well as lead gen potential, content types that are going to generate the most leads, underserved topics with high demand, giving you a competitive advantage, 3 major untapped niches, proven formats, all of the emerging trends, and a 12-month plan with milestones. So as we can see here, this is a complete document built out today. And look how long this document is with all of the data of everything that we need to know, whether it be content strategy, content gap analysis, lead gen content hierarchy of what's going to generate you the most leads based on data, the highest tier of lead gen, the exact videos to do, everything based on data. It is wild what this is going to do for your business. And you could do this for anything, right? You can also replace your prospecting coach, right? You don't need to be paying $1,000 a month for a prospecting coach. You can role play with ChatGPT and build out scripts for any coach that you want to get coached by for free. Right. So we can look at niche positioning as well and future opportunities, right? Data analysis. And this is an entire document with everything that you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this document and we're going to put it into ChatGPT. And that's going to be our knowledge source. And now based on this document, it's going to build out our strategy for Austin. So here's a complete Austin strategy to help buyers and relocators move into Austin by providing data-driven insights, neighborhood deep dives, clear answers to the biggest questions, saving them time, money, and stress. Here's your core audience clarity, relocating tech professionals, first-time home buyers, families moving from California and other high-cost markets. And secondary market is local first-time home buyers, investors, retirees, and the like. Well, here's the videos that are going to generate you the most leads in the first 90 days. Here's how you can build local authority. Here's how you can build community and engagement. Here's the exact videos with the topic, the optimized title, and the angle of how you're going to be able to dominate that market, right? We can see here. Stop wasting time, the complete 2025 Austin First Time Home Buyers Guide, right? All of these are data-driven. So it's not assumptions, right? You're no longer throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. You're going direct to what works, right? Hook, how to be able to retain people in the first 15 seconds, the call to action, and the lead magnet pair, right? The call to action is what generates views into leads or transitions views into leads, right? That's going to be the ultimate goal. And maybe you want to be able to develop a lead magnet, right? Austin relocation guide. Well, let's take note of that because lead magnets are really powerful. Now it shows you the upload frequency, thumbnail ideas, and a summary where you should probably be able to get 10,000 subscribers in 12 months, 50 qualified leads per month, and dominant local authority position. How about this to blow your minds? I had a complete slide by slide breakdown for this Austin relocation guide that I can put into Gamma to create as a lead magnet. We're going to come over here to one of my favorite tools called Gamma. So now we have a relocation guide. But I personally used to pay like $500 to $1,000 to be able to have a graphic designer design a lead magnet for me. We don't need that anymore. We need to copy and paste and know the right prompts, right? So if you need a lead magnet for Austin, as you can see here, we're going to build out this lead magnet in about a minute to 2 minutes. So we're going to say we want these images to be professional and specific to Austin real estate. And you can see here, it's taken the entire thing, broke it out by slides of everything that we need to know. And we're going to choose something that aligns with our brand. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that, right? Whatever your brand happens to look like. We'll just go with this, for example. And now in about 60 seconds, we're going to generate an entire lead magnet. And so in real time, as you can see, without touching anything, I no longer have to spend $500 to $1,000 to develop a lead magnet. You can do it for free in under 60 seconds, and 100% of the images are going to be specific to your market and everything else that you need to drive and be able to generate leads, right? Turning views into leads is the entire goal. So we can see here as it's finishing, this is a photo of Austin, right? And we have the 2025 relocation guide. So we come down here, right? Welcome, beautiful family, right? Moving. Why move to Austin? Here's all the vibrant lifestyle and one of Austin's, slogans. We have what it's like with all the data. We have top 5 neighborhoods for buyers based on category. And again, a photo of Austin, neighborhood map, what prices you get for different types, what type of homes, cost of living, commute and traffic, right, to Austin, new construction versus resale, schools, education, right? All the images are hyper specific to everything that's in the slides, outdoor lifestyle with all the music festivals. We can see here how to time your move based on what your outcome is and what people should know, right? About property taxes, things like that. So this is just going to finish building this out, moving checklist. And we got a couple more slides here. And we're done. Right. So relocation mistakes, and then it's going to do a call to action, as you can see here, to be able to get people to reach out to you from these lead magnets. And now everything is done, and all of the images are hyper specific to Austin and everything. You can see checklist, and you're good to go. So when you start looking at this, this is what makes sure that you can, again, outpace agents. And this is what I think is crazy, is when agents are saying they don't need to adopt technology. You cannot outpace an agent that's leveraging technology, right? The worst thing is when people say, well, I've always done it this way. Yes, but you're going to get left behind, because now I can do things and you can do things after watching this presentation in a fraction of the time for free that what most people would. It for presentations, by the way, the entire presentation I just showed you, I built out in seconds on Gamma, right? I used to have somebody on Fiverr and it took 10 business days to get a presentation back. And then you have revisions and then back and forth, right? This does it immediately. And so this is why right now is the time to get cracking when it comes to leveraging technology, but also not falling victim to people convincing you to buy expensive training on AI, spending thousands of dollars for very generic surface level stuff that, by the way, I share for free on my YouTube channel. I care about you guys as if your money is my own. And I hate when I get emails from people saying they spent an arm and a leg on training that is very surface level. So let's wrap it up, right? Using ChatGPT, now we can generate all the scripts. We can optimize all the metadata, right, for GEO, or generative engine optimization, which is the goal that we want to start with now. Even the craziest part is, if anybody actually goes to my YouTube channel right now, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. None of those images are me. They're all AI versions of me, which is really cool. So now we can work at a much faster pace, right? So we talked about getting real-time content feedback from Manus, being able to analyze retention tips, top performance, and the like. So what we need to do, right? Focus heavily on video content, right? Your videos are here to serve. And I'm going to talk about that as we kind of pull this together full circle. Agents that are winning right now, right? Agents who are leveraging artificial intelligence on average with YouTube are getting double the conversion rate, 50% more time savings. They're able to get much quicker to the point of being able to become a local authority, and they're on average generating 30 to 50% more leads, because now you're going directly to what works instead of making assumptions on what could work, usually taught by somebody that's not even in your market, right? So now we're able to go straight to the data, right? So this is going to be the formula, right? YouTube first. That has to be a pillar priority, right? And some people are going to say, well, what if I'm scared of getting in front of the camera? Well, that's why this works, is because the majority of agents don't have a strong enough purpose, a strong enough why, and strong enough desire to win, to the point where they're not willing to do it. They're going to make up an excuse. So if you are one of the few that actually does it, you won't realize like how easy it's actually to win, right? Because very few people are going to go the extra mile and do the things that, yes, are uncomfortable, but eventually will become natural. So we want to make YouTube a foundation. We want to leverage AI-powered content. We want to start to transition to generative engine optimization, right? And then that's what's going to lead to success. But before I give you guys a little treat here, I just wanted to talk quickly about the fact that, again, this is something that I believe you owe to your market. And I say that because I'm pretty sure everybody listening has run into a situation at some point where you meet somebody and they're like, wow, I just bought or sold a house 6 months ago. I wish I knew about you, because it would have been such a great experience. I didn't have a good experience with my past agent. That's your fault. Why is that your fault? Because you're not visible enough. When you put out content, you need to look at it as serving your community, so that people find you who actually cares, who actually goes above and beyond, who actually does a diligent job in an ethical way from the heart, because you genuinely care and you don't have commission breath. You are leveraging modern technology. You are the one people should find, but it's your problem. And you need to take ownership of that and get louder. I see anytime somebody joins a competing brokerage, or makes a different decision, that's my problem. I'm not loud enough, right? Make it your problem. Everything. That is the one delineation between people who win and people who lose. People who lose point fingers. They blame their sponsor, their brokerage, their broker, their team leader, the president, the market, the economy, their parents, their upbringing, you name it. They will continue to honestly just struggle, because as soon as you point the finger to somebody else, you relinquish control to change the outcome. But as soon as you take complete and utter ownership of everything in your business and life, that is the moment when you're going to be able to make a change, make a difference, and drastically transform your business. So with that being said, I know many people are going to want a little bit of a kickstart here. So I just put this on this final slide before we open it up for questions. Here's prompts to get started, right? It's free, right? I'm not doing anything. There's no email follow-up sequence. It's literally just download them and there you go, right? So I'm not here to sell you guys anything. I just want you guys to win. But again, it's time to commit. Like, this is a 2-year golden era that you have to exponentially scale your business and transform your life. But you gotta lock in, right? Because it's a 2-year window that very few are going to capitalize on, and it can change your life forever if you're fully committed, right? Whether your goal is to build a rev share organization, whether your goal is to increase your production, you've got 2 years of all out focus, and you'll change the history of your life, right? But you got to start to leverage these tools. You have to start taking massive action. And I'm encouraging you to go above and beyond to the next level. So Joseph, that's all I've got, man. Wanted to do a quick rapid fire and show people things that I've never shared before, but special for your community, my man. I think you're muted.
There I go. There I go. I said, I'm over here. I'm blown away, man. That was fire. That was fire. Thank you for sharing that that fresh intel, right? I come from government service, guys, 25 years. And when you get intelligence, it is how you shape what you do when you're in battle. And that's the intel. That part that you dropped at the end, Mike, about, I was going to ask that question, like, how much time do we have before the entire landscape has changed and people are picking up on this? And you said 2 years. Could you share a little bit about that? Like, why 2 years?
I think that right now, and we're already seeing it with, growth at EXP, and we're already seeing it with agents adopting technology. Like, it is, when you start looking at when like AGI and the future of AI is coming, it's kind of in that distant time frame. Whereas we have like 2 years right now to be able to capitalize on the way we understand it today. And it's going to continue to evolve. But even just looking at the numbers, looking at the data, like, we're growing faster than we ever have at this company. And it's all because of this mass migration back to the central hub of the brokerage that's ahead of the tech, right? But when it comes to 2 years, I think it's kind of like that early adopter opportunity, where it's not that after 2 years the opportunity dies. It's just that the people that are serious and hyper committed over the next 2 years, just like EXP did, are going to build such a robust foundation that others won't ever be able to keep up. They'll play, they'll dabble, they'll be there, they'll survive, but they will never keep up to the people who were the early adopters of going all in, which is exactly what we're seeing right now at this very brokerage.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I completely agree with you. And what about for those that didn't even pick up on the SEO era, right? What about those that like got left behind there? Is this something that you can just advance to and then kind of leave the past behind, right?
In a sense. So generative engine optimization, or GEO, as we talked about, all that is an evolution of SEO, right? So SEO is still the foundation of it. It's still search, but it's search being done in a different way with different platforms. So if you have, kind of jacked it up a little bit and not been present when it comes to search over the last couple of years or ever, that's okay. Just get started now on the right path with your SEO in a way that's going to lend itself to the generative side of things. So even if you've never done it, you can get started today, but just get started with an idea where you know it's going instead of getting started based on where it has been.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's so good, brother. So good. We got a couple questions in a couple chat rooms. It looks like Michael was asking here, what social media platform gives the highest ROIs for agents?
The exact one I did this presentation on.
YouTube.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And it's not like, sometimes people will say like, of course you say that because you're on YouTube. I'm like, I'm on YouTube because of that reason, right? Like that's why I'm here. When it comes to agents production, right? I've helped brand new agents do over $1 million in their first year, multiple. It's YouTube gives you the most control because it's a search-based platform. When you look at Instagram, TikTok, I've helped agents do $1 million from either of those platforms, but those are intent-based platforms where agents or people are going on there to find stuff they're interested in, entertainment, education, memes, whatever they want to do, dancing videos, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever your interest is, it's not intent-based. So it's much more difficult to optimize content for those platforms compared to one that is entirely dedicated to search. And similar to why Google ads typically outperform Facebook ads, because Google ads are search-based, based on buyers and sellers searching for answers, versus Facebook ads, which everybody gets frustrated with the quality of leads for a reason, because your ads are showing up in front of people that aren't trying to go on Facebook to buy a house. They're going on there to check people's statuses and see what's going on this week, right? So that's why YouTube is king when it comes to lead conversion and scalability.
Wow. So for agents, and I know we have a few other questions in here for agents that like put us in, like, because you've done a lot of deep research into this. In the eyes of a consumer, are they more likely to connect and actually do business with somebody that's giving them educational value for buying and selling? Or
Go ahead.
Or is it the dancing realtor, right? Like
it's so 86%, and these are all NAR stats, right? 86% of home buyers and home sellers, it's 86% for two different stats, ironically. One is that they choose an agent based on their online presence, not based on brokerage, based on their online presence, which instills trust. The second 86% stat, and you can go look at it, it's all NAR stats, is that 86% of buyers start their search online with video, primarily YouTube being the first platform because it's the primary search-based video platform, right? So we, again, instead of making assumptions, I just like to look at the data because you can't argue ego and emotion with math and with data, right? So this can guide us in a very strategic way to make sure that we make the right decisions based on what time that we have to allocate to our business.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Mike. Ben on Instagram was asking, did you create the content descriptions to put into Manus and Gamma, or were you able to derive that through a ChatGPT initiated search?
I actually created all these myself. So this is for some of the projects that I've been working on. But this is where people are going to run into problems. Like for me, I've coached over 7,000 agents on social media. I know every one of their pain points. I know the exact outcomes they're looking for. I know how they think, how they operate, their concerns, all of that. If you go in and ask ChatGPT, for example, for a run-of-the-mill prompt, it doesn't know all of that because it doesn't have that experience. So where the magic happens is when you can leverage these tools and blend it with experience, because now AI is creating a lot of absolute lazy dependent agents and they're not getting the output And what's going to happen is there's going to be two types of realtors that are going to ruin their brands going forward. People that aren't leveraging artificial intelligence to properly scale, they're going to put out all the wrong content. Number two, people that are leveraging artificial intelligence generically, which is they're going to be using very generic prompts without experience. They're going to be using platforms like HeyGen to create video avatars of themselves who sound perfect and polished online. And when we get to a listing presentation, you can't speak through a hole in the wall. That's going to immediately break trust. Right. So that's why video is so important, because if you can become a good verbal and written communicator, you are going to be the dominant agent in your market.
Yeah. That's so good, brother. That's so good. So technically there's two forms of unauthenticity now. It's like really being inauthentic, which consumers don't like. And then, like you said, a generically AI kind of look that is also going to be off-putting to consumers.
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. All right, guys. Any other questions? It looks like TC had asked, based on your experience, how often should we be posting actual growth, just impressions? Do you have a formula to that, or are you getting most of that from your promptings now, Mike?
So I've, again, like the thing that I think gives me the upper hand is I've coached thousands of agents before AI, right? So I've done the hundreds of hours of research and the A/B testing and the split testing and everything to figure out these answers. AI has just enhanced the capacity at which we can work now. So historically on a platform like YouTube, the sweet spot from everybody that I've coached has been about 2 videos a week. 2 videos a week has not been a 2 times multiple in terms of how fast that person grows. It's usually closer to a 4 times multiple. So 2 videos a week or 8 videos a month happens to be a sweet spot that blends growth without it being overwhelming and consuming to the point where it's an entire full-time job and it becomes too much, right? So it's kind of that beautiful blend. And some people are like, get all excited about it. And they're like, well, I want to do 5 videos a week. I'm like, yeah, but it goes back to what Alex Hormozi talks about, is that quality beats quantity, but quantity wins. If you could do 5 incredible videos a week, sure. But I don't know one realtor in the industry who does. So with that being said, don't overwhelm yourself. Don't bite off more that you can chew. More is not always better. I would rather you do 1 to 2 incredible videos a week, ideally 2, consistently for the next 12 months, than run and sprint. And after a month of doing 3 to 5 videos, you're burnt out and you're cooked, and then you stop, right? Consistency with the right things is what wins.
That's awesome. One question I often get, and I'm surprised nobody's asked it yet, is at the end of these videos, Mike, what happens? What's the call to action? Or is there funnel systems that are set up that you're coaching your agents on, or is it what does that look like?
At the end of your video, the only call to action is to promote another video. So you want to keep people on your channel. And that's what YouTube rewards, right? Is people not just coming there, but staying there. Your call to action to get people to contact you as an agent, to go to that lead magnet or to book a call, has to be within the first minute. If you look at a retention curve, 70% of people are still there after the first 30 seconds. About 30% of people are still there at the end of your video. Do you want your call to action to be when 30% of people are watching or 70% of people are watching? 70%, because that 2.5x's your conversion rate. Okay, your call to action should not be like, comment, subscribe. Your goal, hopefully, isn't likes, comments, subscriptions. It's leads, conversations, and closed deals. That's what you ask for in the first minute after you hook people.
So good. Nina was asking about topics. I know I've seen them when you were pulling up the Manus. I mean, that's what we lean on, right?
Yeah, the data, right? It's all that you need to understand is that your YouTube videos are, and this I think really helps rationalize it for most people. Your YouTube videos are simply the responses to your ideal client's questions. So Nina, and this is no offense to Nina, Is your client sitting there after a hard day of work, Googling a story about Nina? No, they don't care. Nor do they care about me or anybody, right? Now, the magic, because facts tell, stories sell, the magic comes when you can weave personal stories into the educational, right? But you have to understand that the only people watching your videos are ideal clients that are searching for solutions, and your videos happen to be that. That's it, right? So you just have to look at it as responses to what you know your target audience is searching for. So hopefully that helps.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And Mike, I know we're at the top of the hour here, my brother. Man, hey guys, let's give Mike a big round of applause. He just dropped literally millions of dollars of wisdom today on this call. Mike, from us, this organization, and everybody that is watching this, my brother, we salute you. We thank you. And I want to invite you back so we can talk specifically about growing teams and organizations across the globe, because I know you've done that to a very, very high degree. And that would be another phenomenal showstopper. But in the meanwhile, I know you're growing, continuing to grow. And we'd love to invite a conversation, right? We'd love to invite a conversation where that can be explored about partnering with Mike, partnering with myself. EXP, you know, we're the fastest scaling organization in real estate, and we want to partner with amazing people to help change their lives, right, Mike?
Yeah, it's an opportunity unlike anything I've ever seen, right? You know, I hear the statistics, 71% of agents didn't close a deal in 2024, and 70% didn't close a deal until June 1st, 2025. That's 18 months. And I feel bad, but I don't, because it's a conscious decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can align with people that have a vested interest in helping you scale, that for me give all of my social media, agent attraction, artificial intelligence training for free to everybody. And we've taken multiple agents just like you from struggling to breaking 6 figures in 12 months, and all of it's free, right? And you have people like me and Joseph that are willing to work together and give you everything that you need to thrive. And we have a vested interest in it, right? So there's no excuse. And I always tell people that the most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind, right? If an opportunity is not for you, that's fine, but you can't make that decision without having a conversation and actually understanding what it is, right? So I would encourage you that the next 12, 24 months can radically change your life forever, but it will only change your life if you remain open-minded and have the conversation to see whether or not this is a good fit, and if you could be the next success story that we get to showcase on our platforms.
So great. So great. Woo, fire, man. Hey, Big Mike, thanks again, my brother. Looking forward to connecting you and seeing you here soon. Have an amazing day. Stay blessed out there, Mike, and we'll be in touch here shortly. For everybody that is still tuned in and that will watch us in the future, we're excited, guys. Like Mike said, no more excuses. The time is always now to be able to step into that best version of your business and your life. So connect with Mike, myself. We also have a hyperlink in the chat here that you guys can tune in on, or simply drop an emoji on any of these platforms, and we'll make sure to reach out, touch bases with you, and just see how we can be a contributive partner in your life and in your business. Till then, you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys at the next class. Thanks again, Mike.
Take care.